118, The Valley of Mexico from the Hillside of Santa Isabella. Jose Maria Velasco painted this oil on canvas in 1882. This is one of, actually I wrote 7 up there, but I think there are 9 renditions of this. And this is considered his best work. The great context for this, great as in the biggest, is that the Spanish here had controlled the Americas, this orange area of the Americas, for 300 years. And in 1881, the country of Mexico was able to get its independence. And since that time until this painting in 1882, so for 60 years after their independence, they were working on creating art that represented their own independence or their own national identity. And that's what Velasco gives us here. The training that Velasco had was here at the Royal Academy of San Carlos. He trained under an Italian master and thus had a lot of training in the Romantic era of painting. So artists that came out of this Royal Academy art school ended up doing a lot of landscapes of the Valley of Mexico, where the city of Mexico City is today. This is what that valley looks like today. So a lot of geographers and environmentalists are appreciative for Velasco's landscape portrayal of this valley before this massive urbanization happened. Notice these 2 peaks here. We're going to talk about them in a minute. So the form of this romantic landscape, that is a painting of land, is that the eye starts here with this little family. They are in the light. They are contrasted by this shadow that goes along this hillside. And our eyes follow this shadow down here over these middle mountains or hills to this city. And we can see in a distance the city of Tenochtitlan. Then in a further distance away, we see these hills and we see the 2 mountain peaks that I showed you in that last image. And we have this majestic, sublime sky that has a thunderstorm going on. In terms of content, Velasco included several things you'll notice that connected the Mexican people with their identity, pre-Hispanic, most of them. One of them is not. So let's look at these symbols that are used in this landscape to give identity to Mexican culture. The first are those 2 peaks that we see here in a distance. They are considered in Aztec mythology to be 2 lovers. One is a woman, the other is a courageous warrior. And so there's a whole ill-fated story about their love that people in the culture would know. And then coming in closer, you can see this is a city, this is Tenochtitlan, and if we look at these straight lines, we would recall that these are the causeways that led to Tenochtitlan. So hearkening back, these 2 examples are pre-Spain colonization examples. And here's a third pre-Spain example, and this is the origin story that we saw here in the Codex Mendoza, the eagle landing on a prickly pear cactus as an indication of where the Mexica people should create their empire. Well, in this, the Valley of Mexico from the hillside of Santa Isabella, there is an eagle also that's flying in to land on a prickly pear cactus. So hearkening back to that Aztec origin story. And then another example here, a 4th example, is we have this family that is wearing indigenous clothing. The mom is holding a baby here, but both the little boy and the mom are wearing clothes that would tie us to the national iconography and identity of the Mexican people. And then a final example that is incorporated here. Now, this is not pre-Spanish because this is about Christianity, yet it is that story of Mary who appeared to Juan Diego in 1531. She appeared to him up on this hill of Tepeyac, and she requested that Juan Diego go see the bishop, and she gave him rose petals that he revealed to the bishop as a sign that it really was Mary. And she requested that the bishop build the Basilica of Guadalupe, and that's what is featured here is this building. So real messages to the people of Mexico about their origin and their identity are being shown here. I also need to point out, before I tell you the function, that the mother and children, one of the noticings would be that they are coming away from the urbanization and they're going to kind of their rural roots and their rural tie to the land, which could be pretty symbolic. The function of this is that it gives viewers just a pride in Native culture. It shows them their majestic landscape, which is to be honored. And this is a romantic masterpiece. It was made for an international audience. Well, no, for an international exhibition, but it's made for the Mexican audience too. An exhibition that was held in Paris. He did one in Chicago as well. But Velasco would be the artist representing Mexico in the 1800s after their independence with these pieces that honor landscape and indigenous culture. So this is the Valley of Mexico from the hillside of Santa Isabella by Jose Maria Velasco, made in 1882. It's an oil on canvas featuring a romantic landscape.